Hi, Shalom Chaverim. I never met anyone that didn't love Hanukkah. Some holidays there's a lot of prayer, and for some it's difficult. Some holidays you have to eat outdoors, and for some it's too chilly. For some you have to prepare the house, and that's strenuous. But Hanukkah, I'm telling you, it's tremendous. You could go to work. Who would not enjoy brightening the home, brightening the outside with a candle? I mean, candles are beautiful. They're romantic. They add light and joy, and it's always associated with beautiful things, candles. And for 8 nights, to light a candle with a blessing, to sing a song, if you're blessed to have a family or good friends to be with you, it's an amazing ritual. And I mean, same thing about pancakes and donuts and chocolate. You get the picture. Everyone loves Hanukkah. So I take out my menorah every year, and the first night, with anticipation, I light the menorah, and I have a confession to make. The confession is, I'm looking at the menorah, and to a certain extent, as I enjoy the glow of that first candle, I feel that the menorah is empty a little bit, because there are 7 empty cups waiting to be filled. And in a foolish way, I can imagine 8 children in a school sitting by their desks, and the teacher only gives candy to the first one and says to the other ones, "So don't worry, you'll get your turn." And they're all so polite, waiting for their turn. And then the second night of Hanukkah comes, and we light the second one, and I'm so happy for the second candle, because now that empty space has been filled with beautiful light. We have 2 lights, and now there are 6 empty spaces waiting their turn. Okay, but the 8th night of Hanukkah, for me personally, is really a beautiful sight. I mean, I just enjoy seeing the beauty of 8 lights. Each one is filled, each one is happy, each one is gushing, each one is exuding joy and warmth, and my menorah is complete, and my heart is filled. Now, I don't know if you feel the same way, but the 8th night of Hanukkah is really something special, just in the beauty itself of seeing the 8 candles that are lit. So, why am I sharing with you these whimsical thoughts? Because there's many beautiful lessons that one could derive from this, and let me share with you one, actually, from my Rabbi. But first, let me ask you a question. What happens if you missed Hanukkah? 7 days passed, and you for somehow thought that Hanukkah was next month, and then it comes the last night of Hanukkah, and you realize to your horror that you missed the first 7 candles. Now, but you could always make it up, right? So tonight is your first of the 8 nights that you're going to be lighting, though it's the 8th night. How many candles do you burn? You're going to light 1 because it's your first? Or are you going to light 8 because it's the 8th night of Hanukkah? Well, I could give you the answer to this rabbinic question. You light 8 candles. Why? Friends, the reason is because each night is not only a message for the present, it holds a promise for the future, but it takes with it the past. So on the 3rd night of Hanukkah, when you light that 3rd candle, it's not only you added a new candle, but the previous 2 nights that you celebrated are now being celebrated again. It's the 3rd night of Hanukkah, and it's not a 3rd candle, there are 3 candles, though those 2 candles were already lit 2 times in a row. But it's the 3rd night of Hanukkah. When it comes to the 8th night of Hanukkah, we are not merely anticipating that with these 8 lights, this will give us the strength and joy to serve God for the following year until the next Hanukkah, but it also reminds us that the previous week that we did celebrate, on the 8th night of Hanukkah, is being reinvigorated. It's as if to say that we're able to go back in time to the 7 candles, rekindle those 7 candles, each one corresponding to a past day. Isn't that nice? I think it's great. That the power to brighten is not merely the future, but the power to brighten is to undo the darkness of the past. So that 8th night of Hanukkah, the miracle is complete. The miracle is complete that the number 8 is revealed. Transcendence has been reached, and we are now ready for the future as well as for the past. There are many lessons of Hanukkah. How do we incorporate the joy and the lessons of Hanukkah into every single day? So there's a story told about a great Hasidic Rabbi who had Hasidim, who had his students, who, like good Torah Jews, would spend their time in study, and boys will be boys, and Hasidim are no different. And occasionally they wanted to take a break of their studies, so in one corner they took out a checkerboard and began playing checkers. Little did they know that at that moment the leader of the movement was walking through the synagogue, observing his Hasidim, his followers, studying, and noticed on one table there seemed to be a lot of activity. He walked closer, and as soon as they realized that the Rebbe was looking at them and at the checkerboard, they became very embarrassed. The Rebbe, not missing a beat, used this as a teaching opportunity. And he said, "Oh, my dear beloved Hasidim, I see you are incorporating the lessons of checkers in the service of God." And they weren't exactly sure what he was meaning by that, and was he being sarcastic? I mean, on the simplest level, he's saying is, you needed a break, so it's okay. You have to relax. So they waited. He says, checkers. What are some of the rules of checkers? I know. I'll share them with you. Number 1, when it's your turn, you have to move. Number 2, if you're playing checkers, you can only move 1 square at a time. Number 3, you're always moving to the other side. Number 4, when you get to the other side, your checker becomes a king. And now you could go in all directions. He says, do you realize that these 4 rules are crucial to serve God? Number 1, you have to feel you got to make a move. What are you going to do now? It's your move. What do you do now? Well, the answer is you have to take a step. Don't jump. You're not ready to leap. 1 mitzvah at a time. 1 square at a time. Which direction? Know your goal. Your goal is to go to the other side. But as you grow incrementally, 1 square at a time, in this case 1 mitzvah at a time, eventually you'll get to the side of good. And then guess what? You become a king. And suddenly you don't have to take only 1 step at a time. You could do jumps. You could go from place to place. This, my friend, is actually the lesson of Hanukkah. We lit 1 candle. Tomorrow, what are we supposed to do? You add. But we don't light 8 candles the first night or the 5th night. I mean, why don't we just take a shortcut? Right? More candles better. You bite off too much, you can't chew it. You can't digest it. Don't try to brighten the whole world. Why don't you first try brightening a small part of the world? Even if that small part is your soul. Tomorrow, you'll add in the circle of light, and you'll add another candle. Hey, don't jump. 1 candle at a time. You say, but when am I going to make progress? You know something? If you keep on adding the 3rd night and the 5th night, the 6th night and the 7th night, now you've realized that you've completed a cycle of time. An entire week has passed and you've been consistent. Every night you've been creating light. Friend, if you could do that for a week, now you're ready for that 1 step beyond the week, the miraculous, the beyond. So instead of having Saturday, Sunday, there's a new dimension called miraculous or 8. Now you could do much more than you think. So this Hanukkah, we've been empowered. Every year we go through the cycle. We remember the importance of starting small, a small cruse of oil. And then the miracle was that they used it and did not give up hope. And then that miracle expanded when they saw that they did not give up hope and they lit the menorah. It lasted for another day.